Time for virtual story time. Not quite live. Yes. Always excited to do virtual story time. Not quite live. Let's get to our welcome song. We clap and sing hello. We clap and sing hello. With our friends, it's story time. We clap and sing hello. We stomp and sing hello. We stomp and sing hello. With our friends, it's story time. We stomp and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. Hello. We wave and sing hello. Hello. With our friends, it's story time. We wave and sing hello. Hello. Hi. Welcome to virtual story time. Not quite live. That sure is a mouthful, isn't it? Well, you know, we do these on Saturdays. We replay them on Wednesday evenings. And so, just to let you guys know, this upcoming craft for this upcoming week is drumroll, donuts. Yeah, crafted by one of our amazing youth services team members. They do such a great job, right? You guys love their crafts. Well, the video should be coming out later today if you guys are watching this at this time on Saturday. If not, it will you can watch it, whenever, because we publish those on Saturdays and we also publish those on Wednesdays. So listen, guys, come through, get some donut crafts and enjoy. And now to get you guys kind of hyped up for donuts, go nuts for donuts. We're going to read some books about, donuts. Here we go. We've got Dozens of Doughnuts. Written by Carrie Finison, illustrated by Brianne Farley. Look at all these donut styles and types. With sprinkles, without sprinkles, some star shapes. Oh, this one has eyes. This book is published by Putnam, which is an imprint of G.P. Putnam and Sons, which is an imprint, actually, of Penguin Random House, LLC, New York. Yeah, there we go. It's just, different levels. Early one morning, as autumn leaves scatter, Luann's busy stirring a big bowl of batter. She'll eat some sweet treats, then, warm and well fed, she'll sleep away winter tucked tight in her bed. Ooh. 1 dozen doughnuts, hot from the pan, toasty and tasty, and all for ding dong. Who's at the door? Who's interrupting her fun eating time? Luann's fun eating time. Woodrow? Oh, Woodrow. Do you have enough for a neighbor to share? Sure, says Luann, and she pulls up a chair. Ooh, okay, well, sharing makes eating a little bit more fun, right? Because you both get to talk about how yummy the food is. 1 dozen doughnuts, hot from the pan, half are for Woodrow, and the rest are for ding dong. Ooh, who's at the door now? Clyde? Luann, feeling generous, offers her plateful. Doughnuts, my favorite, said Clyde. I'm so grateful. You're welcome. Dig in. I'll make more, says Luann. She measures and mixes as fast as she can. Makes me think of roll it and pat it and mark it with B. Put it in the oven for baby and me. 1 dozen doughnuts, hot from the pan, a few for her friends and the rest for ding dong. That's not how it goes. That's not how the rhyme goes. It's supposed to be the rest is for Luann. Who's at the door now? Hey, look, it's Topsy. I smelled something good. Can I hang for a while? Luann says, come in, but she's lost her big smile. Someone else to take her donuts. Delicious, cries Topsy. She gulps down a swallow. Luann's heart feels warm, but her belly feels hollow. She hasn't been able to have 1 bite of any of the donuts that she's made so far. 1 dozen doughnuts, hot from the pan, some for each friend and the rest for ding dong. Look, she doesn't even have a chance to take a bite before the door is ringing again. Now, who could it possibly be at this point? Oh, look, it's Moufette. Oh, Moufette, great to see you too. Moufette is so shy that she hides in a shrub. Luann heaves a sigh and says, "Come join the club." While her guests eat the donuts, Luann starts to worry. She cracks her last egg and pours milk in a hurry. The last dozen donuts. Oh, she must be getting some now. Hot from the pan. A pair for each friend means there's more for a ding dong. Oh my goodness. It's happening again. Chip and Chomp. Oh my goodness. It sounds like a party. They both scamper in. They fill up their cheeks. Let winter begin. Woodrow pours cider. They all raise a toast. But Luann is fed up with her job as their host. Listen, guys, everyone at this point has gotten a chance to have some donuts, and Luann still hasn't had any donuts. She hasn't even had one. She's ready to sleep through the snow, ice, and sleep, but winter is near and there's nothing to eat. Deep in her throat, there's a low, hungry rumble. It slowly grows louder. Her friends hear the rumble. One look at Luann and they dash for the door. After all, she's a bear and she's ready to roar. She fusses and flails and then slowly grows still. Snowflakes drip down. All quiet. All is quiet until ding dong. Oh no. Who's at her door now? There's no more. There's no more for you. Peeking outside, Luann blinks in surprise. Her friends have come back, and they all brought supplies. We counted the donuts you made, so many, and that's when we noticed you didn't get any. We're sorry, Luann. We're so sorry. Topsy ties aprons. They prop Luann's feet. Chip measures. Chomp mixes. Moufette checks the heat. Dozens of donuts, hot from the pan, stacked up in heaps, and they're all for Luann! Yay! She's gonna be full before winter. But her friends have made more than enough for one bear. She has plenty to eat, and she's happy to share. And that's it. That's Dozens of Donuts. Written by Carrie, Finison, illustrated by Brianne Farley. Now, before we move on, we're gonna do another song. We're gonna do another song because the first one was a song. But just to let you guys know, I am not a fan of donuts. I know it's a controversial opinion, but I think everyone is entitled to feel the way that they feel, and I feel that donuts are not yummy. But if you like donuts, more kudos and more power to you. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy the rest of the story time. And I enjoy doing the story times for you, so I don't mind talking about donuts that I don't like to eat. Now, we're going to sing a song called DONUT. Do you guys know what that spells? Yes, you're right. It spells donut. And it's to the tune of, I know you're guessing it, BINGO. Bingo. So I'm going to use the craft sample as my prop so that you guys can know, or we can sing along together, okay? And either the lyrics will be here or I'm going to put a link to them, okay? In the description. I know a treat that has a hole and is so very tasty. DONUT, DONUT, DONUT. Now save a bite for me. Chomp! Oh, it's a good thing it's not a real donut because I would not have eaten it. But, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that song and that maybe, after this story time, you can convince your parents to take you to get some donuts because you might actually like them. And after all this talk about donuts, why not, right? Well, one thing that a lot of us love is donuts. I'm not one of those people, but I know a whole bunch of them. But one thing I do really love is cupcakes. Hey, in fact, everyone loves Cupcake. This book is by Kelly DiPucchio, with pictures by Eric White. This book is published by Farrar, Straus Giroux, which is based in New York. Everyone loves Cupcake. Oh yeah, in fact, I'd probably eat Cupcake right now if Cupcake was real. Coffee loved Cupcake a latte. Cake loved Cupcake. I do, says Cake. Brownie loves Cupcake, and Brownie says, I'm nuts about her. Angel Food Cake loved Cupcake too, but she didn't count because Angel Food Cake loved everyone. Cupcake worked hard at getting her friends to like her. Thank you! Grazie! Merci! Well, the eclair is French, the cannoli is Italian, and is a cream puff maybe? I'm not really sure. It looks like a cream puff. It says thank you in English. Everywhere she went, Cupcake tried her best to impress. Her smile was brilliant. Her wave was impeccable. She even wore a tiara. Everyone loves a tiara. Everyone, that is except for me. Pass, pass. Only the tarts were jealous. Look at her. Not a single sprinkle out of place. Whatever. Who does she think she is? Cupcake worried a lot about what everyone thought, so she worked extra hard at being extra perfect. She fussed, she fixed, she fussed and fixed some more. You guys know someone like that who always tries to do things extra perfect? And she never stopped talking about how perfect things were, Cupcake says. After I rescued these sweet little guys from a burning oven, I alphabetized the spice rack. Cinnamon Bun rolled his eyes. Turnover walked away, and Muffin blew his top. We get it! Everything is so perfect! Oh, eventually, nobody wanted to spend time with Cupcake. Can't, I'm an early riser. Ching. I would love to, but I have to take a bath, says Teabag. Listen. The early riser is the bread, by the way. Finally, Cookie offered her some advice. Be true. Do you, or be you. Sorry. Cupcake smiled. You're really smart, she said to Cookie. Cookie blushed. Everyone loves a smart cookie. Thanks, says Cookie. May I have your attention? I have something to tell you, says Cupcake to everyone. She paused, took a deep breath. Okay, everyone, take a deep breath with me. And then blurted out, this isn't the real color of my frosting, and I hate birthday parties! Everyone gasped. The room went quiet. And then everyone cheered. Oh, yes! Cupcake's friends took turns sharing their true feelings. The New York cheesecake says, I don't really like New York. The Doughnut says, sometimes I feel empty inside. The croissant says, I can be a little flaky. Indeed, nobody is perfect. Not even Angel Food Cake, who's written, cake was here. I've got the frosting on the little strawberry who's not amused. Yep, everyone loves Cupcake, especially Cookie. Oh, Cookie married Cupcake. Ooh, that would be a good combination. I might try some after the story time is over. Well, that was Everyone Loves Cupcake, and I hope you guys enjoyed that book as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. Now, we got our next song, and it's our final song, and then we're going to have one last book, and then Miss Meg just got to go because it's Saturday. All right, so here we go. This one's called the Donut Song, and it's to the tune of Turkey in the Straw. And I'm going to put the lyrics, of course, either in the description or there'll be a link to them. And Sorry, I'm moving around because I keep trying to think of a way to do this so that you guys can see the donuts as I do it. In fact, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. But we're gonna use this donut. Craft donut is back in play. Well, I walked around the corner and I walked around the block and I walked right into a donut shop. Well, I scooped a donut right out. Well, I scooped up a donut right out of the grease and handed the lady a 5-cent piece. And she looked at the donut and she looked at me and she said, "This nickel is no good, you see. There's a hole in the middle I can see right through. And there's a hole in your donut too. Thanks for the donut. So long." That was fun. I love donut songs and donut books. I do not love donuts. But I hope you love donuts and that you're loving this story time. Now, we got one more story. This one is one of my favorites. It's called Arnie the Doughnut. Mm. Arnie the Doughnut. That's me! This book is cooked up by Laurie Keller. The sign says fresh donuts inside. I think they're like tricking us, right? You think there are going to be donuts in this book? Arnie the Doughnut, cooked up by Laurie Keller, published by Henry Holt and Company in New York. Arnie turned out to be just the kind of donut he hoped he'd be. Chocolate covered with bright colored candy sprinkles. Look at all my sprinkles! There must be a million of them! He was made very early in the morning at the downtown bakery, home of the best donuts around. Arnie was proud to be one of the best. He knew that people all over town made special trips to his bakery to buy donuts of their very own. As Arnie sat on the tray, which had just been placed in the donut case, he took a moment to reflect on the amazing things that happened to him this morning. First, he was cut into a ring. Second, he was deep fried. Third, he was cooled. Fourth, he was iced. Fifth, he was sprinkled. And finally, he was named. So number 6, he was named. That was the 6th thing that happened to him this morning. Arnie looked around and saw all sorts of donuts sitting nearby. We got cinnamon twist, donut holes, jelly-filled donut, a long john, crullers, and we got the powdered donut. He tried to strike up a conversation with an apple fritter on the next tray over, but she didn't seem to want to talk. "How about that deep fryer? Any relation to Larry Fritter? Want to count my sprinkles?" Apple fritter is not having it. "It's rather early. Maybe she's not a morning donut," Arnie supposed. It was 6 a.m., and the baker had just hung the open sign in the window. Arnie was fascinated as he watched customers stream into the bakery. One by one, donuts were chosen, placed in paper bags, and whisked away with their new owners. Some went by the dozen in giant boxes. "Goodbye!" Arnie yelled to each donut. "Have a great trip!" "This is so exciting! I wonder who will choose me!" Just then, Arnie looked up and saw a man pointing right at him. Ah! Before he could say another word, he was pulled from the tray and placed in a paper bag of his very own. "Thank you, Mr. Big. Have a nice day." Oh, wait, no, sorry. I said that incorrectly. Let's try it again. "Thank you, Mr. Bing. Have a nice day," Arnie heard the baker say to the man. "Mr. Bing? That's a fine name," Arnie decided. "I can hardly wait to meet him." The grand exit of Arnie's imagination is everyone on the red carpet saying goodbye as they strut to their next destination. The ride to Mr. Bing's apartment was a little bumpy. Arnie was grateful for the soft napkin the baker had so thoughtfully placed underneath him in the bag. He had never ridden in a car and wished he could look out the window to see all the sights, But more than anything, he wished he could meet Mr. Bing. Why does he keep me in this bag? Arnie wondered. Finally, the car came to a stop and they were home. Mr. Bing carefully removed Arnie from the paper bag, placed him on a shiny, clean plate. What a handsome plate, Arnie said to himself. I'm not crazy about the design. I prefer a more modern look, but it's nothing a little paint can't fix. Mr. Bing gently lifted Arnie from his plate. Isn't that cute, thought Arnie, as he closed his eyes and smiled. He wants to hold me. As Arnie relaxed into Mr. Bing's hand, he felt himself moving higher and higher away from the plate. When he opened his eyes to see where he was going, he discovered that he was headed straight for Mr. Bing's open mouth. What are you doing? Shouted Arnie. Mr. Bing was stunned. He dropped Arnie back onto the plate. I was going to eat you, he replied in shock. Eat me? Arnie shrieked, his sprinkles flying everywhere. Why would you do such a thing like that? Do you make a habit of eating all your house guests? No, of course not. So then why did it suddenly occur to you to eat me? Arnie demanded. Well, that's because you're a donut. That's what donuts are for, to eat. Do you mean to tell me that you've done this before? Yes, I eat a donut every day, Mr. Bing said sheepishly. Never thought anything was wrong with it. Arnie froze. He felt sick and frightened and angry. He thought to himself for a moment, I must put a stop to this right away. I'll call the bakery and warn the others. Whoever's left, that's it. Arnie knew that there was no time to waste, that he needed to be very sneaky in order to keep his plan from Mr. Bing. He turned to Mr. Bing and said in his sweetest voice, Excuse me, sir, but I don't think we've been properly introduced. My name is Arnie. Hello, Arnie, Mr. Bing stammered. I'm, Mr. Bing. It's nice to meet you. Meet you. Mr. Bing, will you be a dear and allow me to use your phone? Arnie asked extra politely. Oh, well, okay, said Mr. Bing, and he handed Arnie the phone. As quickly as he could, Arnie dialed the number of the bakery. He's going to get to the bottom of this. The baker answered the phone. Downtown Bakery, home of the best. Mr. Baker, man! Arnie frantically whispered. This is Arnie the Doughnut. Do you remember me? You met me at 5:15 this morning, and I was bought about 20 minutes ago by a man who goes by the name of Mr. Bing. Yes, Arnie, the baker answered. What can I do for you? Now, I don't want to alarm you, but just moments ago, that man tried to eat me. And not only that, he claims to have eaten hundreds of us. I'm going to make a run for it, but I wanted to warn you so that if you see him coming into your bakery again, you stop him. Oh, my, Arnie, I thought you understood. That's why I make donuts for people to eat. I can't believe it, Arnie gasped. Are the other donuts aware of this arrangement? Well, I think so, the baker said. Let me ask them to make sure. The baker yelled to the other donuts, Do you donuts know that you're going to be eaten? Yes, we know, the donuts shouted back. We're delicious. Did you hear that, Arnie? The baker said. Arnie was crushed. The phone dropped from his hand. He'd heard all he needed to hear. Arnie forgot all about his plan to escape. He collapsed back onto the plate, glanced up at Mr. Bing and muttered, All right then, let's get this over with. Go ahead and eat me. Mr. Bing gazed down at Arnie. I'm not going to eat you, Arnie, he said reassuringly. I just wouldn't feel right about it. Really? Arnie said, with a huge sigh of relief. Oh, well, I'm glad to see that you come to your senses. But since I'm not going to eat you, Mr. Bing continued, I'm going to have to figure out something else to do with you. I pay good money for you. I don't want to be wasteful. Of course not, Arnie agreed. What we need to do is make a list of things I can do with you instead of eating you. Between the two of us, I know we'll come up with something. Good plan, Mr. Bing, Arnie said. This will be a breeze. I bet I'm good at lots of stuff. They both feverishly wrote down their ideas. When they finished, Mr. Bing asked, Would you like to read yours first? Sure, Mr. Bing. Sure thing, Mr. Bing, Arnie answered. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Things Mr. Bing can do with me instead of eating me. Do you need a ballroom dance partner? No, I don't dance. You could use a personal fitness trainer. I'd get too sweaty. How about a portrait painter? Oh, heavens, no. Would you like me to entertain at parties? I don't like throwing parties. I could be your chauffeur, but you can't see over the steering wheel. I'd make a great bodyguard. Who could you protect me from? A cookie? All righty, Mr. Bing. Let's hear what you came up with. Okie dokie, he replied. I just know you'll like some of these. Things I can do with Arnie instead of eating him. I could use you as a pincushion. Ouch! Oh no, too painful. How about an air freshener for my car? How about not? Would you like to be a picture frame? I don't imagine so. I need a new bowling ball. Well, don't look at me. You'd make a fine paperweight. Boring. Then how about a doorstop? Try again. But there was nothing else on Mr. Bing's list. They were both completely out of ideas. Well, they both came up with some interesting ideas, but they didn't quite work out. Arnie and Mr. Bing were exhausted. They felt terribly disappointed. After a few minutes of awkward silence, Mr. Bing finally spoke. I'm sorry, Arnie, but it's clear that we can't agree on anything for you to do around here. This is difficult for me to say, but I think it would be best if you found another home. I know, said Arnie, fighting by tears. I'll just be on my way then. Is it all right if I keep this napkin to pick up all my loose sprinkles? Of course, Mr. Bing replied sadly. As soon as I get a job, I'll pay you back the money you spent on me. Oh, that's not necessary, Arnie. Arnie shook Mr. Bing's hand and thanked him for his kindness. Mr. Bing opened the door, and as Arnie left, he paused and said, I guess donuts really are only for eating, good for eating, aren't they? They both waved goodbye, and Arnie was gone. Mr. Bing stood at the window and watched as Arnie walked away. He walked past the flower beds, the mailboxes, and the apartment manager's office. He passed the tennis court, the swimming pool, and the clubhouse. But when Arnie reached the No Dogs Allowed sign at the end of the driveway, Mr. Bing suddenly came up with a new idea. Ooh, I wonder what this idea is. Arnie! Arnie! Wait up! Yelled Mr. Bing as he ran after him. Arnie turned back and stopped. When Mr. Bing caught up with him, he was out of breath. I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier, Mr. Bing panted. Arnie, I've always wanted a dog and could never have one because they're not allowed here. But this sign there's no sign that says no donuts allowed. Arnie perked up when he realized what Mr. Bing must be thinking. Would you like to take walks and play fetch? Mr. Bing asked excitedly. Oh, you bet I would. Can you do tricks like rolling over? Rolling over? Look at me. I was made for rolling over. Well, then, there's only one thing left to do, or one thing left to ask, Arnie. Will you be my donut dog? Oh, Mr. Bing, I would love to be your donut dog. Hooray! They found a compromise. From that moment on, Arnie and Mr. Bing were inseparable. Arnie liked being a donut dog even better than he liked being a donut. He went through a short phase of chewing on furniture and barking at the mailman, but after a crash course in in obedience school, he graduated first in his class. Everywhere the two of them went, people would stop to pet Arnie. No one had ever seen a donut dog before. Well, Arnie is an innovator. Arnie and Mr. Bing had so much fun together. Arnie was the best pet Mr. Bing could have ever hoped for, and Mr. Bing was Arnie's best friend. Well, I hope you guys liked that story of Arnie the Donut, because I certainly loved it. And now, it's time for me to go. Guys, before I go, first, let's see the books that we read today. And just know they're all available to check out today. And if not, you can place them on hold. Dozens of Doughnuts by Carrie Finison, illustrated by Brianne Farley. Everyone Loves Cupcake by Kelly DiPucchio, pictures by Eric White. And Arnie the Doughnut, cooked up by Laurie Keller. Well, without further ado, all I can say at this point is we wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this.